A lot of you have been asking me in the comments how you can go about getting better at dropping in SUPERVIVE, but dropping is only one of many things to get right for your early game success. So today we are going to simplify your struggles and talk about 5 tips that will help you dominate from the drop all the way up to the end of night 1. It all starts with the drop. Dropping isn't as simple as it is in other Battle Royale games. You can't just drop the same place you used to in those Battle Royales, like Tilted Towers for example. There isn't a Tilted Towers like there is in Fortnite in SUPERVIVE. It rotates based on the plane path in accordance to specialty vaults, your composition, and the storm shift. The main places you want to look at are orange zones with armors and then blue vaults with 2 guaranteed blue armors. Not only will these places have good loot to pick up, they will also have teams that will allow you to fight early and start racking up kill points fast in order to rank up. The way that you can approach the drop though has to be based on your composition. Not everyone is great at level 1. Some characters need level 4 to really shine. Let's compare 2 characters for example that have been strong for a while. Brawl and Hudson. Brawl sucks at level 1. He needs his ability to be a real character, whereas a character like Hudson or Shrike for that matter do very well level 1, as a lot of their identities are based on their primary attack, meaning they can melt teams right away. Using this knowledge, a team with Brawl wants to take a safer approach and farm mobs fast to get levels and then look to clear out an area, whereas a team with Hudson or Shrike, for example, doesn't mind putting the pressure on right away. So you see a bunch of teams drop in a 4 armor gold zone, but you have a Brawl along with other characters that need some levels. Sometimes it's better to just drop in a location nearby in third party or go to a different point of interest, like a blue vault for example, and wait for those armors eventually to come back to you later in the game through having a better mid to late game rotation. Okay, but for real guys, I wish I had an answer for you, but I just don't. Dropping in this game is so hard and just takes practice on where you want to go. I will be posting more in-depth VODs coming soon to try and give you guys an idea of what to think about. But instead of the macro about the drop, here's a quick tip. You want to make sure you get to where you want to go as fast as possible. And the way you do that is, like I've said in other videos, to not drop right on top of where you want to go, rather a little bit before it to then use the drop pod to fly over as a result. This will get you there faster and save precious time. The last thing I do want to note about dropping is that the storm shift does sometimes change things. The big ones I can think of are soulbound powers, bullet trains, and luxury goods. For soulbound powers, occasionally you will have a teammate drop with Robber Raccoon where you can just straight up rob the vault, which is insane for picking up armors and going somewhere else. Bullet trains can get you to certain parts of the zone faster, and on luxury goods, there is a play to be made for Cold Fang and get a bunch of gold to then buy some stuff in the shops, but what I like better is dropping outside of where everyone else is dropping to secure as many shops alone as possible to have exotic powers in them due to the storm shift for 4,000 each. Alright, but that's enough about the drop. Let's talk about how you should run a location if there was no one there. The early game is all about efficiency, and your number 1 priority is to get 3 people to level 4 while 1 person gets to level 2.5 quick, picks up the Vault Hunter quest, and immediately cracks open that vault. By the time that vault is cracked, your team will now have 4 books, which can be split to 2 people, 2 books each, allowing 2 people, at least on the current patch, to get level 5. Since all the mobs are dead, the biome boss will spawn, dropping another power and getting your vault lockpicker to level 4. Ideally, you can get powers for your whole team, 2 people to level 5, and armors too possibly, in less than 2 minutes. You gotta be fast, and I swear to God, if you pick up the mob killing quest, I'm jumping off the map. Okay, don't actually jump off the map, but you get what I mean. Do not pick up this quest, please. Just by the way, if you do manage to find a gold keys can open vaults instantly, which takes this 2-minute process and shortens it down to like a minute. Gold keys can spawn from chests, snow piles, and also the white chicken thing in Prisma Falls, the Heart, Ion Acres, and Vein Grove. Now that we have finished the Vault Hunter's early game portion, it's time to take space around the map and fight, or path to and open a vault with good powers and armors to get that as well. How do we go about doing this though? By hitting a UAV. UAVs do not only show enemies on the map, they also show the powers that are within vaults. So if you got unlucky and got garbage in the first one, you can just pick up another vault and get all the goods. You shouldn't be scared of taking fights if you are doing the Vault Hunter's quest step correctly though, because you will be stronger than most teams in the lobby if you manage to do this without hesitation. Another thing to think about while you are chasing people around the map with UAVs though, is where the zone is going and where the circle could end. A lot of the time when you lose a game of Battle Royale, it's not usually because you lost a one-on-one fight. It's usually because you put yourself in a terrible position and got third-partied as a result. Something that is important to think about is looking where teams dropped or where they are on the UAVs around the map, and then getting to a safe space in the zone before them so you can hold them out instead of the other way around. If you don't have quick access to a UAV based on where you are on the map though, you can always assume where teams are going to be. Assuming that off the drop, you were looking at where teams were dropping around the map. Once you get more experienced with the game, you can start to predict where people are going to be using this information. But I'm gonna be straight up honest with you guys, I don't expect any of you to magically be able to do this after watching one video. So UAVs are probably your best bet for now. At the end of the day, running in with your back to the zone is really, really dangerous, as it gives you less options to return to the game and gives you no escape options if things go south. Moving on to our last tip though, what are you supposed to do when it is all said and done and you don't have anywhere to go? Typically, what you want to do is you want to set yourself up for one of the night 1 bosses in Prisma Falls or Vane Grove if they are in zone, or play for a strong soul like Teleport or Shrapnel Soul by putting yourself in the center of the upcoming zone. The reason you want to be in the center is because that's what's going to allow you to have the most efficient path to where the souls are going to drop, since they have to drop somewhere in that next zone. The faster you get onto a soul, the more likely you are to get them without any trouble. I did make a tier list a little while back ranking all the souls to see which ones are worth going for over a boss. Just make sure you're pathing for one of these objectives, that being the soul or the boss, not just to get loot, but also to eliminate players that are going to be there as well. And that closes out today's video discussing everything you need to know about the drop in early game to have more success in the mid to late games in SUPERVIVE. No guide is going to perfect your success in the early game, but it will most definitely help you in how you think about it so that you can get better over the long term. Thank you guys all so much for watching, but until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.